So what's the use of lower attack times? Fast attack times. I mean under 2 or 3 milliseconds. That is incredibly fast, right? But lower than 1 millisecond, what would you call that? That's extremely fast. That's what happens when you use a FET compressor. 1176 compressor simulations. That kind of compressors. They have lower than 1 millisecond of attack time. So what is that use? Or is it even useful? As you can see and hear, there are a lot of FET compressors on studios around the world that have these kind of compressors, different revisions, different manufacturers, and they are favored by some artists like this. If that studio doesn't have a Bluey, I won't go for recording there. They really like that specific hardware sound. So FET compressors doing good with extremely fast attack times. So what is use of these attack times? How could you take advantage of extremely low attack times? So I don't want to mess this compressor. I really like the setting and the setup I have here. Let's load another recomp. You can use whatever you have, but I suggest that you use something with similar functions. There is attack release, auto release, ratio, and knee. If you have these settings, you are ready to go, ready to test what I am explaining to you or use what I'm explaining to you. Other compressors will sound different with different features, with different attack range, and this compressor gives me whatever I want. So I'm using this. By the way, they are free plugins and you can install them in your DAW and use it. They are very, very high quality and they sound amazing. You wouldn't believe until you test it, like me. One of my friends always said Reaper is good, Reaper's plugins are amazing. I didn't believe him until I was forced to use Reaper and I saw that it's everything you might need. Yeah, Reaper lacks some of plugins that Tucson Studios filled its empty space with its amazing plugins designed for Reaper. So anywho, let's go check lower attack times effect. So I'm going to start from a higher attack time and go lower. Let's engage the compressor. And knee should better to be hard. It will have more obvious effect. And ratio is good. 3.5 is good. So let's go.
مردمی هستین شما رد گم کنی نبود نخود سفید روم سیاه میرم کنار نور بیاد امر متاع پوتیفار جناب متاع سفره نون خوش.
So as you can hear, it barely catches transients and the overcompression that we are hearing now is because of engaging compressor too much and having a high ratio. Otherwise you wouldn't even hear the compression being applied.
مردمی هستین
Now let's go lower the attack time.
مردمی هستین شما رد گم کنی نبود نخود سفید روم سیاه میرم کنار نور بیاد امر متاع پوتیفار جناب متاع سفره نون خشک پسکی آب و اسکی نان و
You can hear that it's really engaged now in 7.4. It is really engaged.
مردمی هستین شما رد گم کنی نبود نخود سفید.
And it sounds good. It is important to being extremely engaged and sound good. So this point is a great starting point.
مردمی هستین شما رد گم کنی نبود نخود سفید روم سیاه میرم کنار نور بیاد امر متاع پوتیفار جناب متاع سفره نون خشک پسکی آب و
It starts to lose transients. It still have some and as I said, this compressor just sounds amazing. With extremely fast attack, it sounds amazing. So let's disable auto release and decrease release for more obvious attack effect.
مردمی هستین شما رد گم کنی نبود نخود سفید روم سیاه میرم کنار نور بیاد امر
Now vocal breezes. So higher than 7 milliseconds in this specific case or in any vocal would work like this. A little bit higher, a little bit lower, but start point could be 7 and higher than 7 milliseconds. So now it starts to breeze. Now you can hear that transients pass. They start to pass.
مردمی هستین شما رد گم کنی نبود نخود سفید روم سیاه میرم کنار.
Now vocal is dull. When we use extremely fast attack times, vocal gets dull or whatever you use because it is that effect. That's what it does. It dips higher frequencies, extremely fast and peaky sounds, peaky transients. It starts to control them and you will have a dull vocal or audio instrument or whatever you have.
مردمی هستین شما رد گم کنی نبود نخود سفید روم سیاه میرم کنار نور بیاد امر متا پوتی فار جناب متا.
And as you hear and I'm hearing, it's working more like a limiter than compressor. But what's the difference? There is certainly lower ratio. We are not using a ratio of higher than 20 to 1 or 18 to 1. Whatever on those ranges is limiter. You don't need to hit 100 to 1 ratios to be on a limiter range. So higher than 20 and close to 20 is limiter. But we have a soft limiting effect here with lower ratio. And we can use knee to soften it up even more.
مردمی هستین شما رد گم کنی نبود نخود سفید روم سیاه میرم کنار نور بیاد امر متا پوتی فار جناب متاع سفره نون خشک پسکی آب و اسکی نان و اسکی.
Now the ratio applies gradually and it is less artificial and more musical.
مردمی هستین شما رد گم کنی نبود نخود سفید روم سیاه میرم کنار نور بیاد امر متا پوتی فار جناب متاع سفره نون خشک پسکی آب و اسکی نان و اسکی پول خرجی برای روز بعد و تفریح. این حرفا مردمی هستین شما رد گم کنی نبود نخود سفید روم سیاه میرم کنار نور بیاد امر متا پوتی فار جناب متاع.
It tightens vocal up with lower attack times. It tightens vocal up and it's like keeping vocal in a certain level. It decreases dynamic with decreasing transient effect on the mix and keeps vocal in a certain point, certain level. So we can conclude this from this tutorial, from this manipulation, audio manipulation, that if you want to keep something steady and on a specific place, keep it from bouncing in and out of stereo field, you could use extremely fast attack times to do that. And of course, you better increase release time.
مردمی هستین شما رد گم کنی نبود نخود سفید روم سیاه میرم کنار نور بیاد امر متا.
The compressor would breathe much more naturally. So release time is important in these extreme scenarios. My friends, there is a lot to talk about the compressors, the attack time, the release time, the ratio, the knee. It is a different and beautiful world, at least for me, and I really love what I do, what I teach, what I record, edit, and upload on YouTube for you. I really like this job, this thing that I'm doing. So I hope you would like it and you would subscribe and follow for more. Thanks for watching.